Hey guys, my name is Michelle Guedad Rosas, and this is Behind the Bigger Bites. I think that I've learned with a few things in my life to take the chance. It's worth it, and just see where it takes you. Because honestly, it was stressful to get to this point, and it was a lot of work, but I wouldn't change it or have it any other way.
What's your name? Where you from?
My name is Michelle Guedad Rosas, born and raised in Hackensack, New Jersey. My nationality is Colombian, de Cali, Colombia. And yeah, we right here.
So that was actually one of the questions I wanted to ask was like, what made you come to Hackensack, which is awesome. You were raised here.
Yeah. Like, it's funny. We get a lot of customers that come in here and they're like, oh, where are you guys from? And I'm like, born and raised.
Yeah.
This is my stomping grounds.
Did you feel that it was something important for you to like keep it in the place where you were at, especially for you and your family? Or is it something that you just stumbled upon?
I think that for somebody that left to move somewhere else, that ended up moving somewhere else, my plan was always to come back home. And this is home for me. But I think that it's that more meaningful to kind of bring something like this to my community, And there's so much change happening here. That's wild.
Yes.
Like literally
Overnight.
from growing up, these streets look the same, but it's switching up a little.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's going in the right direction.
I totally agree with you. Well, actually, I wanted to ask you, what was your career before and how did it, obviously you weren't always a cafe owner. What was your career before and how did you transition into owning this space and the whole nine?
So I started in retail, I think like the rest of America, worked at the mall, but I think that my longest job in retail was at Apple. I worked there for like almost close to 6 years. And then from there, I transitioned into being an executive assistant for Bobbi Brown. And I kind of helped her out with all her startups for all her new brands in the beauty industry right now. But that's where I got to explore like my creative side and really hone in on learning graphic design and stuff like that. And then pandemic hit. And it was like a transition of getting laid off from that and then deciding like what my next step was. And I decided to do freelance full-time for my design stuff. Yeah. And my husband and I came up with this concept afterwards.
Ooh, now tell the people what is your freelance and what it is that you do.
Freelance graphic design, any digital creative stuff, just hit me up.
That's your girl right here.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, honestly, like everything that you see, if you follow us on social, like the cafe, I pretty much do all the visuals for us.
Which is dope. Like,
thank you.
Seriously, like even the vibe here, everything is like to the T clean and like
it was definitely a team effort,
and
I appreciate it a lot when people notice it because it took like a lot of energy and love and like thought put into every single detail in here. So I love it when people like notice those little things.
Yeah, you can tell. It's a whole thing. So you opened after the pandemic, after your graphic design with your husband. So what year was this? We're in 2020, 2021?
No, we are brand new. We opened up in November of 2023.
It's not even a year yet.
No, our baby turns, our third baby, I guess, but our business baby turns 1 in November. Yeah.
I'm totally coming for this anniversary, by the way.
Oh, funny enough, we were just talking about it. We're like, we got to do something really fun.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that.
For real. All right. Before we get to the food, I just have one more question about the past things. Like, how did you get, so the past, you started the concept, which is awesome. How did you get into the community events? You do a lot of stuff for the community.
We try.
I've seen it on Instagram.
Yeah.
What made you get into it and why? And what is it that you do?
Okay, so I think that when it came to our community events, if we rewind to like coming up with the concept of our space, overall, our goal was to kind of create a spot that people want to come and hang out at. Yeah. And I think that our families give us like this warm feeling that you just don't want to leave. Yeah. So whenever somebody comes in, it's just like, you're part of the family. You want to come and chill. Like there's always good music in our opinion. That's always a vibe, whether you're playing dominoes, having a cup of coffee, or like indulging in some of the CBD products behind me. Like there's something for everybody. And I think that creating like those community events is just like another way to bring people in to kind of like experience a little bit of us personally.
Yeah.
We do La Placita Market, which is one of my favorites. That is like our monthly pop-up where we have local artesanos and vendors that may not necessarily have a storefront. And we get rid of everything around the cafe and they post up all around and offer their goods to the community. So that's a really fun one. And that's usually a really busy day. And it's really cool to meet other creatives, which is super dope. Another dope one is our sip and paints, which instead of like your traditional canvas, we do it on a greca.
I saw that, yeah.
So that's
dope.
always a really dope time. We have a really cool artist that leads that. But we do everything from like live music to DJs. Honestly, we try and think outside the box.
It is. I feel like the space. I haven't been to the events, and I'm sorry. I swear, I'm coming. I'm coming to one of them. From what I've seen, it seems like a creative hub. It's like you have a cafe, but at the same time, vendors, community, creatives. It's exactly what we need when we want to go home. Sometimes I feel like a lot of people grew up, especially the Latin community, where the space was, no, you're going to become a doctor and that's it. But they didn't say you're going to become a graphic designer. Like that's not a thing.
They'll be like, ¿qué es eso?
Yeah, right? Like that's not a thing. That doesn't make money, And what about my soul? Like my soul needs to be.
That's like something like my dad. Eso sí produce, or like he wants to see it in dollars and cents. And I'm like, Dad, estoy viviendo cómoda. And like, I'm happy. It's a learning curve.
Smiles is a thing.
It's a learning curve for like, especially the older generations. Pero yeah.
What are the challenges as a business owner that
to get
started? Yeah, to get started and the challenges that you're facing now.
I think that, so for starters, like this is being in the cafe or restaurant food industry is brand new to both of us, like my husband and I. So it's a learning curve for like every day we're learning and I feel like it's trial and error, but that's a good thing. You have fun with it. But I think that one of the challenges getting to where we're at now was you have a timeline set in your mind and then things don't always go that way. Like whether it's construction, the permits, things getting delayed, no resultó esto, so you got to do this now. And, I don't think that everybody's mentally prepared walking into it. So emotionally, that was a challenge. Yeah. It's funny because we signed the lease in January. We got a puppy in April. And then, we got a puppy in March, and April I found out I was pregnant. So it was like a whole lot happening at the time.
Oh, wow.
So the whole construction process was also during my pregnancy. So,
So
it was
you were
fun.
growing 2 babies.
And taking care of our furry one at home, yes.
You were having 3 babies.
It was a time.
It was a time. That is a challenge. But you know what? It proves that what seems impossible, like, I can't do this now because I'm this, or I can't do this now because I'm that. You literally just did it.
No, honestly, it was just, you got to push through it.
Yeah.
Or else, like, you're just going to be stuck.
And then what?
Exactly. Like, después que nothing's going to be happening.
What do you feel what inspired you to push through? Was it like being a mom, or like, what do you feel like you're like, I'm going to do this because of this? Like, especially in those times where like, it was really challenging. Like it's like March 1st, the contractor's not here. And I'm blah, blah. What made you like really, really like, what inspired you to be like, I'm going to do this today?
I think just seeing believing in the overall vision of it, it's like, we were very confident and I was very confident into like the idea that we had. And I'm like, it's right there. The finish line is right there. I can see it. So it's a matter of being on people's ass and be like, well, let's get it done.
Yes.
And like, I can't even begin to tell you the amount of times, whether it was my husband, my parents, my friends telling me, Michelle, you got to chill. You got to get off that ladder, or you need a mask and stuff because you're doing the most and you're pregnant. Oh. And I'm like, listen, I'm feeling good. So that doesn't mean I'm on bed rest. Like if I'm feeling good, let's do it. What we got to do.
Oh, okay. So it was like it's like maybe your challenge was like you were over the top, but it was really for you, this was your baseline and you were just pushing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's very inspirational, guys.
No. All right. So we got 3 things on the domino table for you.
Okay.
Bueno, a little slice of PR, pinchos de pollo over here, which are grilled chicken skewers, with that little hint of PR that's like always that barbecue sauce. And one now, little slice of pan sobao, which is Puerto Rican sweetbread. Pastelillos de carne that are grilled. They're air fried, but they're ground beef with maduro. So there's a little salty and sweet flavor up in there with homemade Puerto Rican hot sauce. And this reminds me, just takes us back to Colombia. Mm-hmm. So last year, before opening, we went to Colombia to visit my family. And we discovered a pan de bono waffle, which is a waffle made with masa de pan de bono. For those of you that don't know, it's Colombian cheese bread. And so try it. Crunchy on the outside and cheesy on the inside. It's just so good.
And this is dulce de leche.
Dulce de leche, arequipe, yep. It's a nice little dipping touch for you.
Arequipe is
like dulce de leche.
Oh, that's a different name. Oh my God, I love this.
Yep.
Okay. As I try.
So these are a little bit my go-tos. And again, it's just like another kind of tribute to our cultures. You got the little Puerto Rican and got a little bit of the Colombian flavors up in there.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, the pan sobao is also Dominican. We use it all
really?
the time. Yeah, we have pan. I forgot the name. I'm gonna say it wrong. Let me not say it. But one of them is pan sobao, is a softer bread as well. It's a sweet bread. And then you have the pan de agua, which is like
they got it in PR too.
Yeah, exactly.
If I had to choose, I would say pan sobao for me.
No, yeah, 100%. Yes.
For me, that would be mine. Yes. But, well, that's good to know. I had no idea.
Yeah, I'm going to have to like, the Greca too. The Greca is like the big thing, the Domino Table. Like a lot of PR and DR stuff kind of mesh well. Why CBD?
I would say that's more my husband's inspiration. The concept came more from my husband. So he's an Air Force veteran and does indulge and dabble with cannabis.
Do you also?
Honestly, socially, I would say.
Okay.
And not as often as I used to before pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
But you just see the benefits of it, like when you're using it medicinally, for instance. Like for him, it helps out with a lot of his anxiety and things like that. My 92-year-old grandfather uses the bombs or a gummy to get some rest or for his achy joints.
Yeah.
So there are benefits. And I think that it's dope to see the stigma of like older generations just being like, that's weed. All you want to do is like get high and...
Especially Hispanic people. What?
Yep. Even my mother.
Yeah, I was gonna say, sorry, Mom.
Yeah. She like comes in, sees the customers that ask for something infused, and she's like, wow, they're professionals. They got their lives together. Like got their shit together and everything. And I'm like, yep, you see?
No, of course.
But it's nice to see that there's just things that are available that people don't necessarily know about. And it can help for so many things. Yeah. So
especially our society now with anxiety is a big factor. And this is a great place to be, even if you do want to work.
Yeah.
You know?
It's funny, we got like a lot of people that come in and they work remotely, they plug in, connect to the Wi-Fi, and they might, whether it's a drink, they do a CBD pre-roll and smoke it right in front. Like there's different ways now. There's so many delivery systems that there's something for everybody. And I think that the nice thing about when it comes to CBD is that, at least for me, I feel functional because I'm not getting that psychedelic high. Like I just feel super mellow, super relaxed and focused. So it helps. And if it's not something that you're into, that's fine. We got something for you too.
You hear that? For the non-CBD and for the CBD, we are here. No, that's
got
awesome.
A little bit for everybody.
I just like the fact that you can break through the stigma to the people who are, not that I am, it doesn't matter whether I am or not. It's not about me. It's about just, you try something and if it works for you, great. And if it doesn't, great. You know what I mean? But at least you tried something and you learn about it because knowledge is power.
Definitely. So. And I don't think we try and press on it or push it down your throat. Like we have it available. We let you know what the benefits are. We let you know how you could feel when you're taking something. Yeah. And if you want to try it, cool. If you don't, that's fine too. Totally fine. And I think that creating it and participating and partaking in that in this type of environment where it's like super chill and like kind of warm and welcoming, it's a little bit more comfortable and I think a nicer experience for those people that do decide to try it out.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'd rather do this in a homey space than somewhere where you're
Yeah.
uncomfortable. Yeah, especially if you're already anxious as a person, then that would totally benefit from that.
Yep.
Awesome. No, thank you for that.
Of course.
But where do you see this space, your life personally, in, let's just say 5-10 years?
I feel like maybe in the future we could see another location somewhere. We get that asked all the time. Like, hey, do you want to open up here or do a franchise? And I'm like, one is enough for right now. Yeah. It's a lot of work. But hey, who knows? That would be something super dope.
Yeah, it's like a whole nother family. Maybe having
exactly. Literally. Oh no, I was definitely convinced that I was gonna go into labor in this place at any moment. I was like, it's gonna happen here. It's fine.
That's awesome. What advice would you give someone who is just starting off, thinking about their own concept or their own business venture, specifically women? Like, what would you say? Or even if you're starting a family, but you have this thing, like, what advice would you give them?
I would say believe in your vision for sure and seek any type of resources that you can, which there's so many out there that I'm like even still learning about. There's a lot of small business resources that offer free help. I would definitely look into that. But overall, like, I think that I've learned with a few things in my life to take the chance. It's worth it, you know, and just see where it takes you. Because honestly, it was stressful to get to this point and it was a lot of work, but I wouldn't change it or have it any other way, truly. So that's just me.
I love that. How do you feel that this concept helped the community in Hackensack, and where do you see this concept kind of like evolving Hackensack in a way?
So I think that it's an asset to just the town in general. Like I said, comparing it to when I was growing up here, like the town is night and day. Like specifically the downtown area, like the Main Street, Banta Place, like where we are located.
Yes.
There's a lot of, it's in a redevelopment stage. So there's a lot of new high rises going in, so many new apartments, and a lot of people coming in from the city, coming to live in Jersey too. But I just think that, damn, I don't even know how to...
Like, I feel like it has helped the community, you know what I mean? Because if you have local vendors, people are coming from the city and they want to be creative and they're in their like bubble. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you're giving them the space to be creative here in their home in Hackensack, you know what I mean? That's how like I envision like helping that community.
I think that also like creating a spot that just kind of fuels you. Like, I always, as a freelancer, love going to cafes and working because I could only do so much at home. I don't know about you, but I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna take a nap. I'm gonna finish that later. It's fine. Like, it hits.
Yeah.
So it's dope when you find like a really good like vibe spot.
Yes.
Like, you kind of feed off of that and you just get into the groove of whatever it is that you're doing. And I feel like we're attracting that kind of energy here, you know, like for our people. So we get a lot of really cool people through the door. And I think that that's something dope that we give back. But one thing that I will say, I do hope that like a lot of the businesses that have been here since I was a kid, I hope they push through. Cause like, it's sad to see that a lot of them are slowly closing. And they've been here for over 30 years, you know?
It does. It really
so does. That's something that I hope that we get out of all of this, that they also stick around for the journey.
Oh, the only other thing would be, where do you, in regards to the future, like where do you see CBD infused products, drinks going? I mean, now that I feel like now we're just pushing through the stigmas of people's thoughts. Let's just say thoughts of my parents or our community, you know what I mean? Because I can only speak from that. Like, I feel like now we're just pushing through. What could it be? Like, where do you see it going? Like,
honestly, I think that it's gonna explode, truly. Like, I think that right now, the cannabis industry in general is just going places it's never knew. Yeah. Like, it was a very white space because of that stigma. But like, for instance, our drinks, there's so many like cans already
Yeah.
of infused drinks that you could just grab and go. And I feel like a lot of people are also deciding and switching over from alcohol and being like, you know what? Let me take one of these infused cans instead. It'll chill me out, but I don't want to have a hangover the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's going in a lot of good places. It's blowing up. It is.
Awesome. This is so cute.
Hey.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank
honestly.
you.
This is,
Thank
this is
you.
dope.
Hey guys, my name is Michelle Cuellar Rosas. Thanks for watching Behind the Bigger Bites.
Life behind the corner.
Don't play with your food, guys. Don't play with your food. Yeah.
Behind the Bigger Bites. Okay.